भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। So, we are towards the end of the sutra Tanishthasya Mokshopadesha. So the particular word, there is a little grammatical analysis. We take into account, because when we analyze the Shastram, we have to fall in line with the accepted rules of grammar. Plus, we should also fall in line with the Anubhava. A lot of things we have to take into account. So, what is the Rudhi, what is the Vyutpatti, is it all? The Rudhi again is, how is it interpreted in the society? Which sense is in vogue in the society? That is Rudhi. And which sense of a word is in vogue in the Shruti? There is a Rudhi in the Shruti. Like when we say Indriyatma, even though there is a phrase, the self in the form of the senses, Indriyatma doesn't mean really Paramatma, even though Atma Shabda is used there, but it means only the sense organs, the individuality. Indriyatma, Dehatma, etc. Thus we have a word is there which has a Vyutpatti, etymological sense, and plus the second sense is how is it in vogue, in what sense, is it in vogue, is it known to be in the society, that is the Rudhi, and how is it also known to be, how is it interpreted in the Shastram, that is also a Rudhi in the Shastram, within the Shastram. Not in the Laukikam, but it is Shastram. Within the Shastram, what does it mean? In what sense has it been used? A particular word, in what sense has it been used? In what sense has it been used throughout the past? All these things have to be taken into account. Then it becomes Mimamsa. And Mimamsa has to lead a person to clear perception of the truth. If Mimamsa itself does not lead to the clear understanding of the truth, then it is of no use. You see, there is no uncertainty. This is one beauty. You see, when you do an action, the result, whether you get the same result, whether you get the desired result or not, you don't know. You do business, but whether you will make money or not, even though you want to make money, whether you will make money or you will really lose money, only Bhagavan knows. See? That is why when you begin business, you see, you break coconut. Why? Because the result is not in my hand. But when you open your eyes and see, you don't break a coconut. Why? When I open my eyes, definitely I will see the form. Because there is no abhikrama nashaha and pratyavaya. There is no uncertainty in the matter of the result of the knowledge when you use the pramana correctly. There is no uncertainty. That is what Krishna goes on harping in Bhagavad Gita. In karma, the result is uncertain in the sense it is not even uncertain. Uncertain when he means the result of your present action is also really judged by your entire past. How much you are going to get for your action is all determined by your past. That is why there is abhikrama nashaha and also pratyavaya dosha in every ritual. You make one small mistake, it's gone. You see, but here when you open your eyes, you have to see the form. There is no abhikrama nashaha. There is no uncertainty. The beauty of education is in whatever you do for mental purity, there is no uncertainty. The moment you become humble, you become mentally peaceful. There is no uncertainty. You have to understand this. When you help somebody, the mental peace is not uncertain. Are you able to follow? When you help somebody, you get mental peace with certainty. बहुत बड़ी बात है जी. बहुत ही बड़ी बात है. That is one realm of uncertainty and a realm of certainty. They are two different realms. When you do something good, it shall give you antahkarana shuddhi. Dharma shall give you mental peace. When you are truthful, it shall give you mental peace. When you are non-violent, it shall give you mental peace. When you look after your children, when you look after your parents, etc., anyway, you do your duty. Let me put it this way. When you do your duty, it shall give you mental peace. There is no uncertainty. You see? When you serve somebody, when you serve the sick, it shall give you mental peace. Oh, if I serve my parents, I don't know whether I will get mental peace or not. No, it's not in your hands. Even karma phalam is not in your hands. It is uncertain. It is not in your hand. It is certain. It is not in your hand. Whether you like it or not, it has to come. तब भी आपके हाथ में नहीं है. Because if it is in your hand, then you will refuse to have it. Possible. Choice can be abused. Therefore, when I am truthful, so any right value, any right action choicelessly gives me mental peace. That is one thing. In the same manner, when I use the eyes, it shall give me perception. Same manner, when I use the Vedanta Pramanam, and analyze it, Mimamsa, it shall give me knowledge. There is no uncertainty about it. I have to just understand, I have to do it. It means when I think correctly, right knowledge is certain. Right thinking certainly leads to right knowledge. Right knowledge certainly leads to the negation of wrong knowledge, and that certainly removes bondage. All that I have to do is think correctly. And that also, it is not in my hands. I have to see what Vedanta thinks. How Vedanta really thinks about the truth. I have to only see what it points out. That's all Mimamsa. Mimamsa here is, what does the Shruti say? That is called Mimamsa. So this is the Mimamsa that we are doing. And now here, this particular word Jyoti, Jyoti Shabdopi Laukikena Prayogena Jvalaneyeva Rudaha Arthavada Kalpitena tu Jvalana Sadrishyena Kritau Pravruttaha iti Adrishtantaha. Up to this we have seen. Therefore, Jvalanam has only, when you say Jyotihi or Jvalanam, Jyotihi, Jyoti does not mean a ritual. Jyoti means only fire. A flame. That is its mukhyartha. That is its mukhyartha. And it doesn't mean two things. It doesn't mean two things. It means only fire. And by upachara, by gauna, you also take it to mean a ritual. But that's not its sense. When you say Jyotihi means ritual, you can't say that. Jyotihi means fire. And according to the context, you can use the term. That is called a gaunartha. In the same manner, the Atma Shabda means only Chetanam. Similarly, Sat Shabda means only Chetanam. Similarly, seeing means only conscious seeing, not as though seeing. There is no as though seeing. Seeing has only one meaning, that is called literally being aware. Seeing, the Ikshata, the source of the universe, saw. Saw means it only points out consciousness. It can only mean consciousness. Saw. Seeing is consciousness. To be conscious, to be aware, and to be seeing mean the same thing. It is only that is the only one meaning it has. Now, how can you interpret the word to the Ikshata to mean as though saw? He did not as though see, but he saw. So the mukhyartha of seeing is only Chetanam, it only points out awareness. Seeing implies awareness. Seeing in no way can imply inertness. If you want to really convey the inert, it has got its own swashabda. The inert jadam didn't see. The jadam doesn't see. I said the table doesn't see is much easier. The table is inert. The table doesn't see. There is a table which doesn't see. That is much better. Rather than I say the table saw, the table sees, and then interpret as though sees, meaning it doesn't see. What a thing. The table see. The table sees, meaning as though sees, meaning doesn't see. Why don't you say right in the beginning the table which doesn't see? Because it has swashabda. There is something called swashabda. There is a word specifically meant for the inert. That word inert is specifically meant for the inert. When you say the word inert, it is a word that is meant for the inert. Why do you have to describe the inert as conscious and then I say I don't mean really conscious but inert? And why did I say inert? So there are problems here in understanding the Shruti. And therefore, these logicians, you see, you have through logic, see why this is all happening? Because through the sense perception based logic, I have a conclusion that the source of the universe can't be something conscious. The source of the universe has to be something inert. And I want that conclusion. I want the whole Shastram to fit into that conclusion. This is the problem. That is not Mimamsa. That is interpreting everything to suit to your conclusion. This cannot be called Mimamsa. refuting that conclusion is Mimamsa. Understand? That becomes a Purvapaksha. Refuting that approach is Mimamsa. If I have to interpret the Shastram to suit to what I have concluded, then you would be doing the same thing. You will be interpreting the Shastram to suit your conclusion, and everybody would be interpreting the Shastram to suit his conclusion. Then nobody would know actually what Shastra means. What does it really mean? Mimamsa is done to find out exactly what Shastra means. And what it means cannot be a matter for speculation. What it means must be within the experience of every living being. What it means must be already within the anubhava of everybody. Determining what it means is called Mimamsa. It's called Mimamsa. Not interpreting the whole Shastram to suit your conclusion is called Mimamsa. Interpretation is not Mimamsa. Interpretation is distortion. Correcting that distortion is called the Mimamsa. That is the Sampradaya. That is exactly what the tradition does. Okay, this is over. Athava, the last couple of lines of this sutra. Athava or Purva Sutre Eva. In the Purva Sutra, in the previous sutra itself, Atma Shabdam. Let us look like this. Let us look at the whole thing like this. Bhashikara says. Atma Shabdam, we can take it like this. The word Atma, Nirasta Samasta Gaunatva Sadharanatva Shankataya. Let us take it for granted that the previous sutra itself has explained away the word Atma, free from all doubts as to its Mukhyartha and Gaunartha. Nirasta, Samasta, Gaunatva, Sadharanatva, Shankataya. The previous sutra itself has clarified these 2 points. That is, the word Atma never means Jadam. Then the word Atma never means inert. The word Atma never means inert. And the word Atma never means both Jadam and Chetana. One is Gaunatvam, the other is Sadharanatva Shanka. One doubt is, maybe the word Atma also means, maybe the word Atma means Jadam. And the previous sutra has taken it for granted. It never means inert, it means only Chetanam. Then the Purvapakshi came with a reconciliation. Let us not have any chagda. You are trying to prove me as wrong. I am trying to prove you as wrong. So the best thing would be, let us accept both are right. This is called reconciliation. You are also right, I am also right. We keep our difference of opinion, but both are right. How both are right? That's because the word Atma can mean both Chetanam and Jadam. Like Paramatma, Indriyatma, Muktatma. So the body can be called Dehatma, Indriyas are called Indriyatma, and the Chetanam is called Paramatma. So the word Atma can mean both conscious and Jadam. Let us take it for granted the previous sutra itself has clarified both these doubts, meaning the previous sutra itself has made it very clear. We can look at the previous sutra as as a sutra that has already answered these 2 doubts, meaning it has already stated that Atma Shabda does not mean Jadam at all. Number 1. Number 2 is Atma Shabda does not mean both Jadam and Chetanam. It means only Chetanam. nirasta samasta gaunatva sadharanatva shankataya vyakhyaya, having interpreted the previous sutra as a sutra that has refuted these two doubts. Vyakhyaya. And now this sutra, Tanishtasya Mokshopadesha, this particular sutra can be interpreted to mean Tataha Swatantraha eva. This particular sutra, Tanishtasya Mokshopadesha, this particular sutra, Swatantraha eva, independently, free from these, free from all these restrictions. This sutra this particular sutra that we are doing has no responsibility to clear those doubts because the previous sutra itself has clarified those doubts. Which doubt? Does Atma Shabda mean Chetanam or Jadam, etc., etc.? He says, no, it means only Chetanam, not Jadam. And it doesn't mean both Chetanam and Jadam. It means only Chetanam. Ye sari previous sutra has already explained. And then freshly, you can look at this sutra, Tanishtasya Mokshopadesha, very beautiful last word. Swatantraha eva, pradhana karana nirakarana hetuhu. This particular sutra can be interpreted to refute the pradhanam as a non-giver of freedom. You refute pradhanam. You say that pradhanam is not jagat karanam. You say that the inert matter is not the source of the world because it can never be the giver of freedom. Matter cannot be the truth of matter because if matter were the truth, then I should be liberated looking at it. I should be liberated, identified with it. I should be liberated. There should be no bondage. Iti pradhana karana nirakarana hetu swatantraha eva means independently. Pradhana karana nirakarana hetu vyakyaha can be given. Vyakyaha means can be commented upon. This sutra can be commented upon to refute the pradhanam, the inert matter, as the jagat karanam, meaning this particular sutra can be interpreted to say that the pradhanam, the matter, is not the source of the universe because it gives you no freedom. It doesn't give you moksha. Tanishtasya mokshopadeshat iti. This particular sutra, Tanishtasya mokshopadeshat, can be interpreted to refute, to explain away the Atma Shabda to mean only Chetanam, etc., etc. Or you can put that all as the interpretation of the previous sutra, and then this sutra can be taken to mean only this much. A, your pradhanam cannot be the truth. Your pradhanam cannot be the source of the universe. Because if matter were the source of the universe, if matter were the truth, then seeing it, hearing it, tasting it, touching it, smelling it, seeing the truth, smelling the truth, tasting, touching, hearing the truth and feeling the truth, the matter, I should not be bound. Are you able to follow? If matter were the truth, whether it is inert, subtle matter or whether it is subtle matter or gross matter, gross matter is a modification of subtle matter according to you. So if matter is the truth, then seeing that matter, the world, feeling it, tasting it, touching it, smelling it, overeating it, how can I feel? Bound. The food that I eat is matter. The air that I take is matter. The body that I have is matter. You see, the sunlight is matter because anything physical is matter. I am surviving on matter. And surviving on matter, and if you say matter is the truth, then surviving on the truth, how can I feel? Bound. Therefore, my total survival on the matter, and if matter were the truth, My living on the matter should not make me feel bound, but I feel bound, which means matter is not the truth. Simple. This is called, really, really down-to-earth common sense wisdom. If there is someone who is very good in his common sense, they are the people who become, without the Shastram, they become Babas, I understand, like Kabir Das, vagera. Tremendous sanskara, tremendous some kind of common sense, which helps them to say some beautiful things, God no traditional exposure to the Shastra. There are a lot of people. I say, if this matter is the truth, then I am living in it, I should not feel bound. And if this makes me feel bound, then definitely the truth must be totally unlike it. Unlike it means Chetana. If matter creates bondage, if matter creates bondage, then the source of freedom has to be something other than matter and something unlike matter. And if there is something unlike matter, it has to be only Chaitanya. These are all common sense. And common sense is not different from the truth. Common notion is different from common sense. Commonplace notions are different. Common notions are different from common sense. It is a sense. It's knowledge, it's wisdom. And therefore, that is nothing but anubhava really. What man calls common sense is nothing but anubhava. Okay, tasmat na acetanam pradhanam satchabda vachyam. Therefore, thus we draw a conclusion. Therefore, the word sat, the word truth, does not mean some inert matter. Truth does not mean physical matter. Tasmat na acetanam pradhanam satchabda vachyam. Tasmat, therefore, not acetanam, the jadam, pradhanam, the inert pradhanam. Satchabda vachyam is not the sense of the word sat. Sat does not mean pradhanam. Sat does not mean pradhanam. Shastra doesn't mean sat means pradhanam. Pradhanam means inert matter. Sat doesn't mean pradhanam. Sat means a consciousness which is the source of everything. Like you see, the dream is jadam, but the source of the dream is the very dreamer, the Chaitanya. He is Sat. The source of the dream is Sat. Dream is inert. Dream is objectified. The source of that objectified dream is the very dreamer. Like the source of the thought is the thinker. Thought is inert, but the source of the thought is conscious. Thought doesn't think. Thought is only thought. Thought doesn't think another thought. That it doesn't think makes it inert. What I see again doesn't see. I see the table, but the table doesn't see. This is inert. But the source of it is Chetanam. And therefore Bhagavan has to be totally conscious. If Bhagavan is purely conscious, if he is solely consciousness, then he can't be out there. He can't be out in heaven. He can't be inside physical space. He can't be, located in physical space. He can't be located in time. He can't be located in space. So you can't have God anywhere in the creation. You can never come across God as someone having a kutia and living anywhere in the creation. Why? Bhagavan is not a part of the creation, Bhagavan is the source of the creation. Bahut badi baat. You have to really hear these words with attention. Rapt attention. Absolutely. This is a part of the creation. Space is a part of the creation, air is a part of the creation, fire is a part of the creation, water is a part of the creation, the earth is a part of the creation, body is a part of the creation, the senses are a part of the creation, thoughts are a part of the creation, emotions are a part of the creation, pleasures and pains are a part of creation. These are all parts of creation. But Bhagavan is not another part of the creation. These are the five elements are a part of creation. Then what is Bhagavan? He is the source of all of them. Where they all appear, Bhagavan is that in which the whole world appears, stays and dissolves. That is Chaitanam. So if the whole creation is inert, then if Bhagavan is not a part of the creation, then definitely he is not inert, he is Chaitanam. This is all common sense. Okay, this is over. Kutaschana pradhanam sachabda vachyam. We are going through another big argument. Big unfoldment. There are no arguments. I would say it is another unfoldment. How the word sat does not mean inert matter. How the word sat does not mean inert matter. We are going to get into another big unfoldment. And before you go into that unfoldment, Kutaschana pradhanam. Kutaha, how else? Kutascha means what else is the reason. Pradhanam sachabda vachyam na. What else is the reason for you to say that the word truth, the word sat does not mean matter. The word sat does not mean something inert. The word sat means the source of the universe. The word Sat means the source of the universe. But it doesn't mean inert. It is the source, but not the inert. Because if it is inert, then it is a part of the universe. If it is inert, it is a part of the universe. It can't be source of the universe. वो भी बहुत बड़ी बात. Because anything that is a part of the universe is inert, the source of the universe can't be inert. How can you say part of the universe is inert and the source also should be inert? Because everything that is inert is a part of the creation. Okay. And now, before we go to the next sutra called Heyatva Avachanacha, this is the sutra. You have to just, do japam of this sutra. Heyatva avachanat cha. Heyatva, one word. Avachanat plus cha. It becomes Heyatva vachana cha. Before we go into the meaning of this particular sutra, we have to see one thing, one example. We have a famous example called Arundhati Nyaya. One is Shakha Chandra Nyaya. Trying to point out the moon with the help of a tree, because it happens to be somewhere in the sky, and you want to show to your grandson, this moon. Then he says, look at this tree, and look at that branch, and look at that secondary branch, look at that still secondary branch, and then look there. You look above, over that, look above into the sky. That is how you point out the moon. This is what is called Shakha Chandra Nyaya. It's called Shakha Chandra Nyaya. Pointing out the Chandra with the help of Shakha. There when you say, look at that tree, one thing that is, he thinks the moon is there sticking to the tree. No, that's not the moon. Now leave the tree and look at the branch. Says, oh, that is the moon. No, leave that branch and look at the secondary branch. Oh, that is the moon. No, leave that secondary branch and look at the other secondary branch. Oh, that is the moon. No, you leave that and look up into the sky. That is the moon. It's a method. This is called Shakha Chandra Nyaya. Purpose is the same. There is another Nyaya called Arundhati Nyaya. That Bhagavan is going to refer to this particular Nyaya in this particular sutra. But both are the same. Purpose is the same. Arundhati Nyaya means Arundhati is a small little tiny twinkling star in the sky, which generally there is an Arundhati and there is a Vasishtha. Arundhati and Vasishtha are always together. Even today Arundhati and Vasishtha are together, and therefore the newly wedded, this boy and the girl, are taken out and then they are asked to have the darshanam of Arundhati so that they can live like Vasishtha and Arundhati. Take the Ashirvad. It has become a tradition. What a beautiful tradition. Hey, look at the Vasishtha and Arundhati and live like Vasishtha and Arundhati. And this modern boy and the girl, with great reluctance, go out and then say, and whether they have really the darshanam of it, God knows, even though it is pointed out, then they will make a comment. My God, even today they are so together. How did they live together for so long? How did they live together? How did they live together for so long? It's such a long time together. They don't get bored with each other. It's a comment, which is also a part of that ritual. Anyway, please understand, this Arundhati Nyaya, in this there is a beauty. This is called Prakriya. The method of teaching is like, you first, point out a gross stula, a more visible, what is this? What is this? What is happening? That fan? Actually, this one. You can put it up. अभी तक नहीं मालूम हुआ? नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. This fan. Lights on करना. लेकिन you must identify each switch and the fan. Which switch belongs to which fan? There are how many fans are there? Handful. You have to figure out. Especially when you are sitting there. If you go on without identifying them, they will ask you to put it on and you keep putting on everything. Oh Rama. Now, this is a Prakriya, this Vedanta Prakriya. What happened? There is a star, the tiniest star called Arundhati, and around that tiniest star there are more bigger stars. So first you draw man's attention to the bigger star because it's easily visible. This is called, hey, look at this star, point out a bigger star, and you think that is Arundhati. Okay? And then you say, no, that is not Arundhati. Look next to it. Oh, that is Arundhati? No. Go next to it. That is Arundhati. Oh, that is Arundhati? No. In this manner, you point out a star and make the other person conclude that is Arundhati, and then you refute. That is called, pointing out a bigger star is called Adhyaropa. And then asking you to leave it is called Apavada. Adhyaropa, Apavada. This Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya, what is Adhyaropa Apavada Nyaya? For that the Drishtanta means Shakha Chandra Nyaya. For that really the Drishtanta means Arundhati Nyaya. These are the two Nyayas that are given by the Shastra to, tell exactly the nature of the method of Vedanta. Called Adhyaropa Apavada. Adhyaropa means you say, oh, look at this, you think that is the truth. No, that is not the truth. Look at that tree, you think that is the moon. No, that's not the moon. Hey, look at that branch. Oh, that is the moon. No, that is not the moon. Look at the secondary branch. Oh, that is the moon. No. Look at the other secondary branch. Oh, that is the moon. No. Just above that secondary branch, look up into the sky. That is the moon. Look at this star. Oh, that is Arundhati? No. See next to it. Oh, that is Arundhati? No. See next to it. Guiding man's attention from the effect to the cause and from the cause to the truth, which is free from being both cause and effect. It's like you guide a person's attention from the world to the source, and then the source itself is also described as free from either source and creation. Okay. If pradhanam, if Shastram were to say, now the context is the 6th chapter. You have to really concentrate here. Thoda bahut. The Mimamsa Vakyam comes from, because the word that is being analyzed is Sat. And the word Sat comes in which Upanishad? Chandogya Upanishad. Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asid Ekameva Dvitiyam Tat Satyam Sa Atma, etc. Ikshata, etc. This Chandogya 6th chapter is on the anvil. 6th chapter of Chandogya Vakyas are on the anvil. They are being analyzed. If Vedanta thought that Sat means only Pradhanam, just see. If Vedanta first said, supposing the Vedanta thinks that Sat means Pradhanam, then having said, that Sat thou art, that Sat the Pradhanam thou art, having said, it should not stop there, it should negate that statement. Hey, that's not the final, you are not the Sat, the Pradhanam, you have to leave it. Why? If Sat means the Pradhanam, and Pradhanam is the inert, and then you tell a human being, you are the inert, and therefore this conclusion that I am inert is not good for his moksha, therefore you have to help him to renounce that thought. Helping him to renounce that thought is what is called Heyatvam. It's like, you say this is, look at the tree, then ask him to renounce it. Leave the tree and look at the branch. Leave the branch and look at the secondary branch. And leave the secondary branch and look into the sky, just above the second. This is what is called. What is pointed out is also abandoned. If that is not the thing, it's abandoned. So if the Chandogya Shruti says, if it said, thou art the Sat, if it really meant, if it really thought, if Chandogya Upanishad really thought that Sat means Pradhanam, then it has to say, having said thou art the Sat, it has to again say no, negate it. Hey, you are not Sat. Because by concluding that you are Sat the inert, by concluding that you are Sat the inert, you would not get moksha. Shruti has to say, you are not the Pradhan, you are not the Sat the, you have to go beyond that Sat, the inert Pradhan. It has to be negated. Apavad karna chahiye. But in Chandogya Upanishad there is no apavada. Tree is pointed out and also apavada is done. Are you able to follow? Tree is pointed out, apavada is done. Branch is pointed out, apavada is done. Secondary branch is pointed out, apavada is done. And when the final moon is seen, apavada is not done. When the bigger star was pointed out, a star which is sthulam, the stula nakshatram, the stula nakshatra means, the bigger star is pointed out, but again, apavada was done. Another star was pointed out, it was again negated. Another star was pointed out, again negated, until you point out the real Arundhati. And that Arundhati, when it is pointed out, then it is not negated. And here, if the Chandogya Upanishad really said, look at the Sat, the inert, look at the Sat, the inert, look at the Sat, the inert, having said it, it should negate. But there is no negation. That means, Sat doesn't mean. If Sat really meant Pradhanam, there would have been apavada. If Sat really meant Pradhanam, there would have been apavada. Because the inert cannot be the source of the moksha. The inert cannot be the source of the moksha, nor the Pradhanavadi says. Understand this point. The Sankhyavadi doesn't say that Pradhana Jnanam is the source of the moksha. He only says Pradhanam is the Jagat Karanam. Bas. He only says Pradhanam, the inert, is the source of the world. It only says matter has come from matter. Bas itna hi. It's a simple matter. This matter has come from matter. It has not come from God. It has not come from anything conscious. That's all his theory. This matter has come from matter. He also says, your moksha lies in disentangling from matter. Sankhyavadi also says that this matter has come from matter. This body also is matter which has come from matter. Your mukti lies in disentangling, in separating yourself from the matter. Aapko mukti mil jayegi. That means they do not look upon Pradhanam as the source of moksha. They do not look upon Pradhanam as the source of moksha. If that cannot be the source of moksha, how can the Shruti say that thou, that Pradhanam, the inert, thou art, as the means to moksha? If Pradhanam cannot be the source of freedom, how can identification with it can give you freedom? If Pradhanam cannot be the source of moksha, identifying with it cannot give you moksha. But here Vedanta says, identifying with the source of the universe, the Sat, will give you moksha. Now I can get moksha if I come to know the source of the universe. By knowing the source of the matter, By knowing the source of the matter, if I am promised liberation, then definitely that source cannot be inert. That source has to be Chetanam. And if it really meant here the word Sat, if it really meant Jadam, then it has to be negated. It has to know that's not the real Sat. That is not, that inert is not the real Sat. The Sat is something else. So if Sat really first meant Pradhanam, then it has to negate. It's like saying, Sat, look at this mountain. Oh, this is Sat? No. Look at this earth. Oh, that is Sat? No. Oh, look at this air. Is that Sat? No. Look at this space. Oh, is that Sat? No. Similarly, look at the source of the world, the inert matter. Having said, oh, is that inert source, that is the Sat? Then the Shruti has to say, no. But it doesn't say, no. That means it did not mean inert. It did not mean inert. Therefore, Sat means only Chetanam. That's the meaning of the sutra. Heyatva avachanacha. Look at the sutra. Heyatva, as something to be abandoned. Ha dhatu. I'm trying my best to convey. You have to make greater effort to grasp Vedanta. I mean, what is being said? As something to be abandoned, heyatva. Heya, heya, like jnaya. Jnaya means to know and to be known. Jnaya. Similarly, yat में हा धातु उसका कृत्य प्रत्यय, if you add yat pratyaya, add, then it becomes heya. Like pa, peya, da, deya, nya, nyeya, ma, meya. You understand? This is all. So heya, heyatva means that status is something to be abandoned. Avachanacha, there is no mention. There is no vachan. Vedanta Chandogya Upanishad does not ask you to abandon the source of the universe. Chandogya Upanishad, having referred to the source of the universe, it doesn't ask you to abandon it. If the source of the universe were Pradhanam, then it would have said abandon it. But it doesn't say abandon it. That means the source of the universe is not worth abandoning. Tree is worth abandoning, the branch is worth abandoning, secondary branch is worth abandoning, the secondary branch is worth abandoning. And what is worth abandoning is referred to as something to be abandoned. But if the Shruti refers to it and doesn't abandon, doesn't ask you to abandon, that means that is the truth. That is Arundhati. And if it is Arundhati, then it is not Jadam. Because if it is Jadam, it doesn't give me freedom. If it is Chetanam, it gives me freedom. That means the whole teaching culminates in my freedom. The knowledge of the source of the universe would liberate a person. If the source of the universe were inert, then the knowledge of that inert would not liberate a person. Did you hear the whole sentence? If the source of the universe were inert, then knowledge of that inert would not liberate you. Anyway, that knowledge would be only in the form of inference anyway. Because there is no other knowledge is possible. Because according to Sankhya, The whole Vedanta is nothing but a pile of conclusions drawn from the Pratyaksha-based Anumana. For him, what is Shastra Pramanam? The Sankhya's thing, your Vedanta is nothing but all the conclusions that human beings can draw from their own kapolas, from their own hand, a pile of various conclusions. That is wrong. But Shastram is not a pile of conclusions arrived at by human beings through their independent, pratyaksha-based, sense perception-based logic. But for them, Shastram is Anuvada of Anumana. For the Sankhyas, Shastram is Anuvada of Anumana. It is nothing but human conclusions. So if you think that the Jagat Karanam also is a matter of conclusion, and if somebody else comes to know according to you, as per you know, then what would be that knowledge? Only conclusion. And that conclusion, that inferring, because the world being inert, the source also should be inert. This is called inference. The world being inert, the source also should be inert. Should be inert is called. It is called inference. The world being inert, the source should be inert, is inference. The dream is like the dreamer sitting in the dream. You would say the dream being inert, the source of this dream world also should be inert. Is what? Inference. But what is Anubhava? The source of the whole dream is himself, the dreamer, the Chetana. The Anubhava says something else. Inference says something else. Therefore, even if somebody came to know, even if somebody made a guess, the world being inert, the source of the world also should be inert. This thought, does it liberate? Just this one guess. This world being inert, the source also should be inert. Just an inference, a conclusion. Ye dunya jada hai, the source also must be inert. And that will create another problem. I can create. You don't know those problems, the way to create, but I'll create problems. How? The world being full of miseries, the source also should be full of miseries. The world being full of corruption, the source also should be full of corruption. But anyway, according to you, this is all manifestation of that. Therefore, whatever this has, just by knowing this, by entertaining this thought, the source of the universe is, the source of this inert matter is also inert matter. This simple thought, should be. The source of the universe should be inert. You can't say is inert. Why? Because it's not available for, according to you, Anubhava, it is available only for Anumana. What is available only for Anumana is always stated by should be. Bhavitavyam, should be. Aisa hona chahiye. I don't know. Should be. I'm not sure. I can't know it. It is nitya anumeyam. Like heaven. It's like one person says, is there heaven? You can't say there is heaven. If there is earth, there may be heaven. Perhaps there could be heaven. You can say there may be heaven, there could be heaven. And you can even, at best you can say there should be heaven. If there is earth, there should be another world like this. Why not? If there is life here, there should be life elsewhere also. There could be life, there should be life, there could be life, there should be life, there may be life, there might be life, but you cannot say there is life. There is life is something else. The rest are all inferences, guesswork. Guesswork is different from is. इसमें बहुत फर्क है. And therefore, heyatva avachanacha, The Shruti doesn't abandon that statement. Now let us read the Bhashyam. Yadi, in case, anatma eva pradhanam. Anatma eva pradhanam means this pradhanam which is inert. Because they very, very proudly say the source of the world is called pradhanam and it is jadam, is inert. Like Buddhists say very proudly. See, sometimes we only know people saying the right things proudly. But they say the wrong things with a great sense of pride. This is the result of scholarship. You become a scholar and arrive at a wrong thing. Then everything and your conclusions you will explain in a scholarly way. You see. If a scholar tells a lie, how will he tell a lie? In a very scholarly way. Similarly, whatever he does, even if he tells a lie, is scholarly. And if he makes a wrong conclusion and talks about that wrong conclusion, it will be scholarly. It's all scholarly. And they feel proud of it. They feel great sense of pride about it. That the source of the universe cannot be Chetanam. The source of the inert matter cannot be consciousness. Consciousness cannot be the truth of matter. Matter alone can be the truth of matter. Consciousness cannot be the truth of matter. Consciousness cannot be the source of matter. Only matter can be the source of matter. In this manner, they say very proudly. Yadi anatma eva pradhanam sachabda vachyam. Now the Siddhanti is arguing, my dear sir, if this inert alone is the sense of the word sat, sachabda vachyam, then what does the Shastra say? Sa atma tattvamasi shvetaketu. That atma thou what? Shvetaketu iti iha upadishtam syat. Then it amounts to saying, if inert is the truth of the inert, it's like saying the inert alone is the truth of the inert, and that inert thou what? The inert is the truth of the inert, and that's called the Sat, and that Sat thou art. If this is what is said to Shvetaketu, then what will he think? That means I am the inert. I am the inert. And when a person lives with the idea I am the inert, does it liberate? No. Because if that can liberate, now also I am there, here, I am the body. I am the body is no different from I am the inert. So if they thought that I am the inert, if that can liberate, then they thought that I am the body also could have liberated. But it has not liberated. That means the idea that I am the inert cannot liberate. And Shastra should feel concerned. May this student not live with the thought that I am the inert. Having said that thou art, the Shruti immediately should come and tell him, hey, that's not the truth. It has to say that. Iti iha upadishtam syat. Saha, that student. Tadupadesha shravanat, after hearing that statement, anatmajnataya, knowing that he is the matter, he is inert. Anatmajnataya means as the one who knows the anatma as himself. He looks at himself as inert matter, anatmajnataya, tannishthaha, and then taking root in that thought. Mabhut, may he not do that. Shastra would definitely feel concerned. After saying that thou art that Sat the inert, it should again say, you are not the inert. It's like having said, look at the tree, say, now move ahead, don't get stuck there. The tree is not the moon. Tree is not the moon. Look at the branch. And leave the branch. Look at the secondary branch. Leave it. And then see the moon. In that manner, here also, the Chandogya Shruti would tell him, leave that thought that you are the inert. Mabhuditi Mukhyamatmanam Upadidikshuhu. The real self with a desire to teach the real self. Upadidikshuhu. Tasya heyatvam bruyat. It would tell him to abandon the thought that he is the inert. Tasya means what? Pradhanasya. Heyatvam means something to be abandoned. Bruyat should say. Shastram should say. Shastram should have said. Shastram should have said. If it really meant by the word Sat Pradhanam, then it would have said, leave it. But it doesn't say. It only says, thou art the Sat, and it stops. It only says, thou art the Sat, and it stops. That means the one who knows the Sat becomes liberated. That means the one who, if the knowledge of the Sat liberates a person, then the Sat does not mean the inert. And if it really is inert, then the Shruti would say, leave it. Leave the Sat, go ahead. Leave the Pradhanam. Leave the Pradhanam and go ahead, because that is not the real meaning of Sat. Like Arundhati. Look at this star. Oh, this star is the Arundhati. No, leave it. Go to the next star. Oh, that is Arundhati. No, leave it. Oh, go to the next star. Oh, that is Arundhati. No, leave it. That means until you see, until you say, until you come to the Mukhya Artha of the word Sat, you will always tell the student to abandon. But he never said that abandon the first meaning of the word Sat. Because there is only one meaning. All this universe was born of Sat, sustained by Sat, and will go back unto the Sat. That Sat, the what? There is no Heyatvam. That means the word Sat is being used straight away in the sense of the Chetanam. Not that first it uses the Gaunam and then it goes to Mukhyam. If it really meant the Pradhanam, the Gaunam, then it would abandon it. But it doesn't ask you to abandon it. It only says, Sat is the source of everything, support of everything, and goes back into everything. That source, the what? There is no Heyattvachanam. And if Sat had two meanings called Gaunam and Mukhyam, and if you say here it is only Pradhanam, then it would have said leave the Pradhanam. That is not the real Sat. Go ahead. But it doesn't say go ahead. It says there the teaching culminates. Heyatvam bruyat, the Shruti should say, but the Shruti has not said. That only proves that Sat does not mean Pradhanam iti. I hope I am able to convey this all, because very technical, very technical, very technical, very, very, very technical. You want to point out some particular tree in a garden. How do you point? We have so many trees, and amid all the trees, and you want to point out one tree from your terrace. You say you are living next to a park and you are standing on the terrace, and you want to point out to your son, that particular tree which is there amid many other trees. How will you point out? You have to take the help of the trees around. Guide his attention from tree to tree until you reach the real tree. That is called pointing out and negating. Pointing out and negating. Pointing out is what is called, that is called adhyaropa, and then negating. Same thing. It's common sense drishtanta. It is there in our life. This is what we follow. In fact, adhyaropa, apavada, nyaya we follow throughout. Therefore, it is not an unknown method. It's a common sense method. It's a common sense method. We guide human attention from a relation to a non-relation. From a relation to non-relation. Why not? Okay, we'll continue it later. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.